Gary doesn't really quite know what he's let himself in for, because he said, well, will you ask me some questions? So for the highest bidder, ladies and gentlemen, the most difficult questions, if you find a way to me. So my first thing is, why did you, in the many, many things that you have been asked to do, agree to become a patron of Shine?
I think because of the work that it does and the area that it does the work in. I think when we finished football 5 or 6 years ago, a group of us who obviously had come through the Sir Alex Ferguson era, we recognised that the achievements that we had in being there for 25 years were obviously, we deserve some credit for, but without someone believing in us, without someone giving us that opportunity, without that somebody seeing us fall over and then pick us up, that we wouldn't be where we were today. And that actually, you talk about children from low-income families, the idea that they don't share that hope and those dreams is something that is truly depressing. And we decided to embark upon projects wherever possible where we could employ young people, influence young people, pass on our experience to young people. We're not perfect. We don't strive to be perfect. And I think the idea that you make mistakes is sometimes healthy. And young people, sometimes when they make mistakes, they get their backs turned on and they essentially lose that belief, and people lose faith in them and they lose faith in themselves. And I have to say that the support that we received at Manchester United in those early years was absolutely incredible, and we feel as though it's time for us to pay back a little bit and invest in projects, invest in businesses and invest in football clubs and universities that essentially have that culture embedded within them. And my football club at this moment in time is struggling. Manchester United, not Salford. We're all right. And it's struggling. I think losing football matches to me isn't a problem. Finishing in mid-table isn't a problem. But having players that don't want to give their all to the club, that don't want to wake up every day and feel that, you have a choice every single day. You will give your all for the club or you won't. And the idea that sometimes in the last few years we've had players who I don't think have done that is something that, to me, sets an example to all the young fans that are in those stands, which is unacceptable. So what I see at the moment at Manchester United this season, I actually like the team. And that's a starting block. I like them because the values and principles are there. There are young people who've grown up through Manchester United's way of playing, the way of life, the way in which the club has always behaved. And I feel as though it's going in the right direction. The results are poor, but for me that's a short-term thing. I think if the fundamentals are right and the principles are right and you stick to the values that you know have brought you success in the past, eventually the performances will come, the results will come, and then the trophies will come. So for me, I think the reason that I have chosen to support Shine and be a patron of Shine, and I'm privileged to be asked, by the way, as well, is that I think it's centred around the values and principles that we believe in, particularly in this part of our life where we feel like we should give back because of the fact that we were given a great opportunity as young people.
And we in the North are known for our... are known for our can-do mentality, and especially in Greater Manchester. Everybody will have one of these cards on their table. We were talking earlier about the difference that we can make rather than asking for permission and waiting for others. And I wondered whether you talk about the difference that you believe we can make together.
I think we can make a huge difference because I think like I say, I always hark back to my experiences of being a young person and the idea of going into that dressing room. And if the people that I'm following have got bad habits, I'll pick up those habits. If the people in the dressing room that are in senior positions are not working hard, I'll tend not to work hard, I'll take shortcuts. Don't take shortcuts, work as hard as you can, never give in. And you have those sort of values running through your organisation, through your football club, through your business, through your university. Essentially, you'll produce really good people. And I'm an employer now myself, and there are many people in this room who are employers. And yes, skill is important, talent is important. But actually, I never felt it was the most important thing at the football club that I played, and I don't feel it's the most important thing now. Sometimes in my businesses, we have disciplinary issues. if that person has made a mistake, but they're working as hard as they can, they're passionate about the business, they're willing to succeed and suffer with me and suffer with the business as well, then I'll give them a chance. That's my first feeling. I'm not corporate. I don't have to live by, unfortunately, corporate rules. I believe in giving people a chance. I believe that when Sir Alex Ferguson saw people make mistakes in a dressing room, that he gave them an opportunity. If they were disloyal, they were gone. If they didn't work hard, they were gone. But actually, if they made a mistake, but they were fighting as hard as they could every single day, if they were trying their best, if they were never giving in, then actually those were things that he would live with. And I think that ultimately we can make a huge difference in what we do. We've obviously recently embarked upon a very adventurous project in trying to build a university, and purely based out of the fact that we'd like to influence as many young people as possible and try to give them the skills. I look at skills in a different way. I look at skills in terms of the ability to be able to cope with what's coming your way, the ups and downs, the obstacles you're going to hit, to have that resilience and robustness to be able to take the punches along the way and still think about where you're going. And they're the most important skills I believe people need. And I think, like, you know, we've just heard there talking about people from low-income families in disadvantaged areas. They've got grit, they've got determination, they've got a willingness to want to do well. Everybody wants to do well in life, but they just need a chance, someone to believe in them and show them faith and spend time with them, mentor them, coach them. And I don't believe 19, 20, 21-year-old people are born with work ethic. I don't believe they are born with that ability to never give in. I believe it's demonstrated to them by the parents' mentality, their coaches' mentality, their teachers' mentality, their bosses that they come across. It's something that examples set around, set by those people that they're influenced by all the time. And we are those people. And there is an attitude sometimes towards young people to think they're not as tough as they were in my day, or they're not as resilient as they were in my day. It was harder 25 years ago. No, it's not. It's harder now. It's more pressurized now. It's faster now. And we've got to make sure that we change to adapt to teach our young people to be resilient, to cope with what is a new world and a different world than the one that we grew up in.
Thank you very much, Gary.
Thank you.